Welcome to the Red Card District. Got the Beck here at my side. Aaron West joining us from the East Coast. You can follow on Twitter at O_Fenomeno86. And yeah, all sorts of action to recap and talk about. Huh, Alex? It's been a bit of a mad day or two in the World Cup. Things heating up at the end of the group stages. What do you think about what we saw yesterday?
I think it's left everyone with a bitter taste in their mouth, including Suarez.
Indeed, indeed. Well, we brought Aaron on to talk a little bit about the Azzurri. Give us your thoughts on the match and the performance of the team and the squad as a whole.
Uh, I don't have very good feelings about it at all, honestly. Yes, aside from the whole Suarez likes Italian food thing, we all like Italian food, but there's a time and place for everything. Um, but I just thought it was a relatively poor performance overall, just in the tournament overall. Balotelli was all but invisible, except for his Super Saiyan jump over Alvaro Pereira's head, or whoever it was he jumped over. There are rumors that part of the reason he was subbed at halftime is he got in a little tiff with Prandelli. Um, Someone brought up a good quote from Jose Mourinho from 2009 that said, even in 5 years, Balotelli will still not be mature. He still won't have matured. And as brilliant as he can be, it's kind of frustrating to. I'm a Balotelli fan, but it's frustrating to still defend him when he goes missing, when he does stupid petulant things, and it's frustrating to see such a great player like almost go to waste. But I thought as a whole it was just a disappointing Italy performance. You can
Yeah,
blame
anytime
whatever you
they're out
want.
so early, it's got to be disappointment. I mean, there's such
Yeah.
high standards for the Italian team.
Yeah, and they played. I thought they played so well against England, which may or may not be the greatest the
Yeah,
greatest thing to hold up against.
maybe it's just England being shit. Who knows?
Yeah, yeah. So that might be an anomaly. So, but it just was disappointing overall. As a Juventus fan, I'm kind of forced to be a fan of Italy, even though I probably wouldn't be otherwise. But as a whole, I just was kind of disappointed with their performance overall, and disappointed to see them out. But Costa Rica, you got to say they kind of deserve to go through. Some exciting performances. Joel Campbell's going to have Arsenal trying to figure out what they're going to do with him. But
Yeah,
that's you guys.
he at least deserves a preseason, that's for sure.
Yeah.
A preseason sale or a preseason training session?
Preseason with the team. So you don't think we could have seen this, that a team that's so strong but filled with a core of Juventus players, 6 Juventus players would fail when it went to a grander scale, whether it be, I guess that they didn't do so well in Europe this year and didn't do so well on other continents, but I don't know. What do you think the solution is going forward? I mean, do they need to change? I mean, people are talking about Prandelli, like
They've
you
already
think
sacked. He's already resigned.
he's out, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's out. I
Prandelli's-
think literally the issue is going forward. I thought it was a big decision for Giuseppe Rossi, not to be chosen. I mean, I know he was out for most of the season, but he looked pretty decent when he came back.
Yeah, he looked tidy in those
Scored on his return for Fiorentina. Ciro Immobile just did not look up to it at all. He looked completely out of his depth, and I don't think the issue was necessarily the. I mean, obviously they can always step up. I don't think the main issue was the Juventus players. I think it was actually going forward. We can talk about the Marquisio red card. I thought it was harsh. I mean, when I first saw it,
it was so stupid.
it was dumb. It absolutely was dumb. He went over the ball. You can't really fault the referee for giving him a red card for that. But I mean, there were plenty of chances, in my opinion, that just got squandered. Immobile was terrible. Balotelli was terrible. I think the one bright spot of this Italy team, you could say, was probably Darmian, the Torino player who played as a wing back and as an outside back. He's probably going to have a lot of teams knocking at his door this summer. He's one of the few that came out of this.
What about the Milan right back?
DeCilio.
See?
I mean, he was good. I wouldn't say, from what I've seen of him, I wouldn't say it was really his greatest, the greatest he could have been. But he was solid. But I think Darmian is probably the best out of that crop. But in general, I think the team just struggled, and it was a lot of what it was. I think this over as a whole, they just didn't do what they should have done, and I think Balotelli needs to shoulder a lot of that load because when you're playing a two striker, if you're switching to a three in the black, or if you're playing one on top, you've got to get production from your strikers, and we just didn't get that from either Immobile or Balotelli. Balotelli was probably the biggest disappointment for me overall. And there's only so much you can do when your strikers aren't scoring goals. You're probably going to concede at some point. It's not like the 06 World Cup where they only conceded one from open play.
But what do you think about the future of the Italian team? Because the rumor is that Mancini is going to take over, and I'm not so sure Balotelli would like that. Or any other team.
I think they still have a fairly good relationship, but I don't think that's the biggest worry for Italy. I think in general their biggest worry is the young players coming through, and I don't know. A lot of from looking at my Twitter timeline, a lot of Azzurri fans are a bit worried about what's coming for the future because Italy has always been a place where they don't super embrace the youth. It would have been really great for me to see Domenico Berardi come for this World Cup, after the season he had for Sassuolo. But it's kind of a little bit worrying when you look at the future. But then again, you have a couple players left at home who possibly could have made the difference. You've got Berardi, you have Mattia Destro from Roma, you have Florenzi for Roma. Marco Verratti was brilliant, I think, in the Uruguay game. He showed some flair we haven't seen from many Italian players aside from Pirlo, and he just looked completely comfortable. So I think that's something to pin a little bit of your hopes on once Pirlo, if he does decide to hang it up after this World Cup. Verratti looks like he could step in, but we got to look to that. Italians have to look to the future and see what's coming through. So I don't know. I don't think it's all doom and gloom. Insigne, Verratti, Destro, Berardi. But I think what it came down to this tournament was their big name players not really stepping up, especially Balotelli, and the rest of the team in general just didn't step up. I don't think Pirlo had the best tournament. As much as I love Pirlo, I don't think he had the greatest of tournaments. He is always going to be Pirlo, but he wasn't godlike Pirlo this tournament.
No, I think his retirement comes at a very good time because he can't perform at the highest level, and especially not at fast pace. So, but like I said, he'll always be Pirlo, and he's going to be remembered for his fantastic abilities.
Certainly. Let's get to a little bit of the other controversy in the match. So we have to.
The main thing we wanted to avoid was Suarez.
Well, the main thing he wanted to avoid last podcast was Suarez. But
I hate talking about Suarez. But I hate his guts so much.
But it is inescapable now. We need to talk about the man, the myth, the legend, the cannibal. Can you give us your thoughts, Alex?
He looks so upset about having to talk about this.
I know. Why are you crying about Suarez? Did he bite you?
No. Look. Going through.
Where did he touch you?
Going through all the emotions of thought when it comes to Luis Suarez is incredible because from an Arsenal point of view and from a football point of view, like we've had to go through hating Suarez's guts time and time again, thinking he's underrated, overrated, and then thinking he's world class, and then we have to believe we had the whole summer transfer where we couldn't get him, we wanted him, even though he's a fucking prick, you know. And then we don't get him, and everyone looks fucking stupid. So everyone looks fucking stupid, and you're like, he's a fucking prick. Why did I even like him? Why do I even want him? Why do I want a racist prick in my club? And then you don't get him, and he has a great season, and you think, well, I fucking hate Liverpool. And then you think, I fucking hate John Henry, and it just continues. You just fucking hit everything, right? So the more he scores, and I just think of how many times he could have complimented Giroud. I just feel so sad that it didn't happen. But now I'm happy because I hope he gets banned for life. I hope they just take his teeth out. If they just took his teeth out, everything would be okay, you know.
What, are you just going to give Gummers?
We had the whole season, the whole narrative from the
You'd
Liverpool
probably
fucking.
just get teeth implants with actual fangs.
Or we're the boxing foam thing, you know, the teeth guards. But we had the whole season this season of hearing him becoming a redemptive person, you know.
Well, he plays for Liverpool, apparently still for the moment.
For the moment.
And if you play for Liverpool and you score goals, you get defended in the media in England. This not a
right.
It's not a coincidence here.
Right.
You know, he was a Premier League player this season, rightfully so this year, because he was the best player in the Premier League.
They have to include some kind of morality fucking clause in the.
It's not,
let me ask you this, Beck. How would you feel right now? Do you think you'd be able to discern how do you feel right now if he was an Arsenal player?
I'd be disgusted, man.
Yeah, and that's what a lot of the controversy was last
You can
summer.
appreciate someone's ability and think they're amazing as a footballer, but think they're absolutely disgusting. I mean, even as a footballer, you'd have to say on the pitch as a footballer, he's not a good He's a great footballer ability-wise. He can score amazing goals, but
no, he's an amazingly good footballer.
Footballers don't bite people, man.
Apparently, some of them do.
I mean,
footballers don't use racist
footballers
language.
do, but humans probably shouldn't. He does.
Yeah, but how do you disconnect? I mean, I can think he's a great player.
Disconnect. There's a lot of fucking assholes that have been fantastic football players.
I don't have to like them. I don't have to enjoy them.
No. It doesn't mean he's not a good footballer. Like, well, good. It depends on the interpretation of good.
Well, if you include the whole good, like the philosophical term of good, then he's.
Now we're gonna get into fucking philosophy.
Yes, we are. Fuck this shit, man. Look, if we're
gonna get into a philosophy battle, I think too many times we confuse ability with personality and with morality. And that's what happens with athletes. We associate because they can do things we can't do athletically.
But Aaron, if you took those three,
let him finish his thought, man.
If you took those three together, would you say he's a good footballer?
I think he's an incredible footballer when he's on the field and not biting people.
No, but I just said if you include all those three things together.
But that's what I'm telling you.
But that's not how we measure footballers.
Yeah, but
maybe that's how you.
That's not how we.
I told you I can separate and call him an amazing footballer on ability. But I'm including everything. You're asking me whether I'd be happy for him at Arsenal. I can't disconnect.
No, he said, how would you feel if he was an Arsenal player right now in this?
Yeah, I'd be disgusted.
Yeah, and then that's the big issue. I mean, there was a huge controversy. I mean, fans were split when we were all rumored to sign him last summer because the question is, does Luis Suarez make your team better? Of course. I mean, Luis Suarez was the best player in the Premier League last season, and as we've seen, when teams get the best player in the league, they usually win things. When
Liverpool United win things.
Well, look, he took Liverpool a lot higher than they ever could have been. I mean, look at that squad. That squad didn't deserve to win the league, and they nearly did. They nearly did because Suarez was the best player in the league.
Missing 9 games,
right?
And they still did that.
I mean, you'd be hard pressed to tell anyone that's an Arsenal fan that if we had Suarez, that we couldn't have got another 6, 8, 10 points and could have won the league. We probably would have won the league with Suarez. So I mean, so that's the thing. And some people, that's the be all end all. Look, I'm with you. I think Suarez is the most talented Uruguayan player, but I'd rather have Cavani. Why? Because of some of the reasons you mentioned. You know what I'm saying? I think in a football perspective, Suarez is the guy that's.
What if Cavani gets infected and he starts biting people too? Like, we have to watch out for these Uruguayan.
This is possible. I don't know. I'll talk to my Uruguayan friends about some of this.
I don't think we can put this down to a Uruguayan thing. I think this is just a
No, I was just kidding. I thought he was spreading the illness within the team.
If anybody's going to catch it, it's going to be Chiellini because he's been bitten. Now he's the one with the virus.
I know he's going to start. His eyes are going to take on a different tint. No good.
It's like World War. This is how the zombie apocalypse
starts. Walking Dead.
This is how the zombie apocalypse starts, guys. It starts with Luis Suarez.
It's horrible to think that.
I fear for humankind.
But so FIFA have said that he's going to get banned, and we don't know how long. He's going to be charged. He's been charged. We don't know how long he's going to be banned. A lot of people are hoping FIFA are hoping it's going to be short because they feel like it's harsh maybe to give him 2 years, but a lot of people want him to have at least a year or two out of international football. I mean, some neutrals want him banned for life. I mean, the range of opinions on this span the spectrum, so it's going to go across the board. I don't know. Aaron, what do you think is fair? I mean, it's tough to say because there's no really precedence, right? I mean, the thing is, a one-time incident might not merit something so bad. I mean, it's quite the bad action, but
this is his third time with the same offense.
What did they say about the third time?
I think so. The first time he got a 7-match ban, correct? He got 8 and a fine for the racism incident, 10 matches for the second biting incident. I think nothing less than 20 matches and a fine, and that's spanning FIFA and any competitive match. I think he should be banned. So I would say the rest of the World Cup, and then probably what is that, like possibly 3 more matches for Uruguay, and then at least probably 17 matches for Liverpool. That would be my, at the very least.
You don't think that we should separate this though and let it be international?
It won't be club level.
Yeah.
I don't think FIFA can control the club level.
Yeah, I mean that's the tough thing about it. I don't really know the inner workings of how much they're able to work with the English FA, but there shouldn't be. He should be banned for the club season for doing that at any level. I think he should just have. It should be a blanket ban, because this is it's absolutely
Barcelona
unacceptable.
won't be signing him.
Yeah, I mean a blanket ban sounds good. Like as far as I know, I mean, granted it's limited knowledge. I expect most of the time when these things happen in the international realm with FIFA, it deals specifically just to them and their national team. Like I said, the ban could be anywhere from 2 matches to 2 years.
Yeah.
What do you guys think about the psychological aspect of this? Do you think, because there's a lot of people saying like he needs treatment, he needs to go see someone, he needs to go talk to someone. If this is who he really is, and this is what he's been brought up with, and it's unlikely to change, you know.
It's not likely to change. The man does anything and everything he can do to win. And that includes some of the dirtiest shit that we've seen, some brilliant stuff as well. And so,
right, but do you think FIFA should still offer him therapy, to mandatory therapy? Do you think that's a possibility?
I mean, I suppose it's a possibility, but I mean, it's tough for them to enforce such things.
I mean,
right?
I'm hearing crazy things like Liverpool are going to sue Suarez and all sorts of things, you know.
Liverpool are going to sue Suarez for this?
Yeah, especially if he goes to Barcelona.
Yeah, I actually heard.
Yeah, if he leaves, if he stays there, they won't sue shit.
Well, they can if he gets banned for 20 games. They can sue him for the money, for the wages. But go ahead, Aaron.
Yeah. I was actually having this discussion with a lawyer buddy of mine, because it's interesting to the precedent for this, because technically if a player gets suspended, their team can't sue them. Yeah. So say you get like a steroid ban, their team can't sue the player for that. But it'd be interesting to see if it comes out if there's some sort of clause in the new contract he signed, because last time he did this, he got a new contract for him to not be paid if some other incident like this happens.
True. Yeah, we'd have to see the language.
Because I mean, that cost Liverpool, the last time he did this, it cost Liverpool probably the title, significant money in terms of honors, the way where they place in the English Premier League. I mean, that's money out of Liverpool's pocket, and that's a trophy out of their trophy cabinet. So
yeah, I mean, we do see some of those clauses with in American sports, though, right? I mean, football players, basketball players are not allowed to ride motorcycles.
He's damaging the image of
Liverpool
like as well as Uruguay. He's done it twice with Uruguay. I mean, the Luis Suarez controversial sides it's just there's more than a dozen. So. Yeah.
It's going to be really interesting to see what his sponsors do as well, because
Adidas are talking to him this evening about pulling out.
Yeah. So this is, I mean, it goes way beyond just on the pitch. This is going to affect his life severely. Like, imagine his kids and his wife. So one of my buddies was like, I think his biggest issue is having his kids go to school and have all the kids at school just make fun of him over and over. But yeah, it's absolutely.
From a world viewpoint, a bite's just a fucking bite. You know, it's not a big deal. Like I can bite my hand right now. I'm not going to cry about it. It's not like a huge deal, you know. But it's just it doesn't belong on the football pitch. So
it doesn't.
Even Mike Tyson only did it once, and he's still infamous for it.
And he bit someone's ear, Evander Holyfield's ear. So.
But so, Aaron, what do you think is actually going to be? Look, not what's fair, because we've talked about what's fair. What do you think FIFA will hand down? What do you think they will do?
because it's FIFA, they'll probably pay him around $200,000, and he'll be their new spokesman. He'll probably take over for Sepp Blatter, honestly. Um,
He's up for. He's going to be the new. He's going to run for president of FIFA in the upcoming
yeah,
election.
he's going to be the new
Blatter's
president.
announcement's going to be that.
I think it'll be something fairly small, like a 5 to 10 match international ban, and then they'll
community service,
wave it off. Yeah, community service. Have him be the FIFA. They'll truck him all over the U.S. saying it's bad to bite people. Hey, let's feed poor kids. That's what you should bite. He'll end up with a Snickers sponsorship.
He could be at a soup kitchen and open cans with his
Snickers
mouth.
Don't even need him. They'll just use this thing about social media is that you don't need to use someone. You can just use their name.
Yeah, they've actually already
yeah,
used it.
They've hashtagged his name and said you don't need to bite people. You don't have to use his name as long as using a hashtag. Yeah. If using a hashtag, it's part of a media campaign, so you don't have to pay for sponsorship, which is a kind of
circumventing the rules.
Yeah,
man, it's just you always got to find a way to do that, man.
Yeah,
it is. What do you expect them to do, Alex? How long do you think
I expect him to get a 10-match international ban, and that's it, and like a $30,000-$40,000 fine. Whether that's in euros or in dollars, who gives a shit?
I tend to agree. That's about where I expect to see him. I expect to see an international ban, but yeah, they won't throw the book at him. I don't think they're going to go 2 years.
The thing is, 10 matches is a year, so like they'll think it's like fair, right?
10, but no, like 10 competitive matches though, right? I mean, they should really do this, right? Not just friendlies. I mean, 10 competitive matches.
Only so qualifiers,
Copa America, whatever.
America coming up. Yeah. I mean, a 5 to 10 match ban puts him out of Copa America, so that's also a big one.
That means we can't see him here in the United States when they come here. Oh no, the next Copa America. Is the next Copa America here or the one after? Right?
That I'm not 100% sure.
One's coming to the States.
Terrible Americans don't even know when your own Copa America is.
It wasn't even technically ours till recently. So
yeah,
you stole it. Oh my god!
Just like we steal that World Cup.
Yeah.
We'll still see that one.
You're going to invade Brazil and take the World Cup.
We'll move on.
We've already invaded Brazil. We've got plenty of people there.
Let's talk about some of the other performers. You're wearing the kit of the Dutch.
The most disgusting top I've ever seen in my life.
So apparently, I know that's where your allegiance lies now for the rest of this tournament.
No, I've been a Dutch fan since I was 12. But if Holland played the U.S., I'd absolutely have a U.S. jersey on. It's just
sorry. What was that? You've been crazy since you were 12.
Yeah, exactly. Actually,
he's acting like Alex acts like he hasn't supported the Dutch in a match ever. Like when we used to have their players. You know, short-sighted history here. Yeah, but the Dutch have surprised. Have you been impressed with their performances? I mean, do you think they've exceeded expectations?
By far, I did not have them coming out of this group, but Louis van Gaal is the Dutch god right now.
No, he's not. He's just an average manager who's taking over for an average club. You know, that's all that happens.
Wait, are you calling Manchester United an average club?
Right now, yes. Without not even blinking. Not even blinking.
I think they had an average season, but I don't think you can quite call them an average club.
Well, he's just bitter.
It sounds like it. I could feel your bitterness from here.
It transcends the airwaves. Has there been a standout player for you in that team?
Arjen Robben for sure. I don't even really like Arjen Robben.
I love to hate Robben, but I love him as a player.
Oh, I don't even love him as a player.
I love him as a player.
Fuck no. That divey bastard. He doesn't pass.
No. I'm talking about this tournament. I'm ignoring everything else.
In this tournament, he's by far, for me, been the standout player. Robin Van Persie has definitely shown up. But
I don't know who that is.
We have to kick him out.
I don't know. It's you gotta ease off it sometimes, man. On occasion. He's a bitter ex. He's a very bitter ex. We see it transcend his life into things. Football, women, everywhere.
You're supposed to get some of that laid-back California vibe while you're out there, man.
Yeah, you gotta chill, man. You gotta chill. So, any other teams in particular that have really impressed you so far? Of those qualified?
I'd have to say Costa Rica has surprised the hell out of me. I did not expect this team to be playing as well as they have. Who else? The U.S. Honestly, I didn't think we'd be in the position we are right now. And not only just in the position, but like not looking like a shit team who's like barely scraped by. Like, they've put together actually playing like an international quality team, which is something that I would have never called before this tournament. So the U.S. has very, very pleasantly surprised me. I'm not even gonna mention the team that starts with a G and ends with an East. That really makes me upset. But yeah, I'd say the biggest surprise for me has been Costa Rica. They've really pleasantly surprised me.
All right, guys. Biggest disappointment so far. Teams knocked out. I think there's a few easy contenders. Spain is obviously one of them. Ivory Coast is where we were kind of referring to and alluding to.
I wouldn't say Spain is a disappointment for me, but rather a great, great joy.
I'm just saying a disappointment in relation to.
In terms of what I expected, yeah, absolutely.
Gave a lot of people joy. I didn't see them getting knocked out in this round. I had them losing much later. But yeah, I think
the biggest disappointment in the history of the world is England. You know.
Well, but they're perennial disappointments, so you're not disappointed. You expect it.
No, but that's what I said. Even when England are underrated, they're overrated. Okay. So even when you think, oh my God, their team is shit. The manager doesn't know what he's doing. They still go below that level. You know, they still find the level below to reach.
Yeah, I think also Japan and Croatia are a bit disappointing for me. I expected them to do better, and Mexico is a surprise. I can't stand Mexico when the U.S. plays them, but as a team, they've been a lot of fun to watch, and Miguel Herrera is probably the most fun person to watch in the history of soccer.
He's replaced Maradona as like the one coach to watch on the sideline and through this tournament, and he's got the similar figure, so it works. This little round, robust,
rookie man.
No neck, just this
players when they score. Like he may be the only like guy who's happier than the guy who scored. But it's been awesome to watch. I'm glad CONCACAF in general has been really good. Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah, outside of Honduras, we're undefeated.
Yeah,
outside of Honduras, we're undefeated.
Right now, I want to talk about Nigeria. You know, Nigeria.
What about Nigeria?
How did they do it? How did Nigeria do it?
The rest of their group was shit, and Argentina won all their matches. I think it's pretty straightforward.
The way that they did it, yeah.
So how about Messi? You think he's well set up for the rest of this tournament? He's got 4 goals now. Oh, 5 all-time, but 4 so far in 3 matches. Are you thinking this is going to help spur him on to the promised land?
I mean, the way Messi is playing and helping this team to win, even when they're not playing, the rest of the team's not playing well. Like I think they were my pick at the beginning of the tournament, and the way Messi is playing, like it's almost like he just won't let them lose. I think he's yeah. I mean, it's tough to say that one player can drag a team along. We saw Maradona do it, but I think the game has progressed to the point where one player can't quite do that anymore. But it looks like Messi's doing it.
But it's not like their roster isn't packed full of talent though. I mean, whether or not they perform, he has a supporting cast.
Yeah, but the thing with Messi is that he takes the spotlight away from them anyway, and that should be helping them. You know, that should be. Aguero doesn't get any of the spotlight that Messi gets when it comes to the World Cup, and especially on TV when I'm watching it, everyone's like talking about Messi this, Messi that, and only players like Higuain, they should be performing at a better level than they are right now, I think.
Yeah, Aguero was a top 3 player in the Premier League this season.
Yeah.
And you would think for any other team he'd be considered something great. Was it?
I will say the one thing with these other players not quite performing up to par, I think it's really, really tough. Like I think people overlook it a little bit. It's really, really tough when you're coming from a situation where you're the go-to guy to be kind of shunted aside and everything you do is directed to this one central figure. Like Aguero is the main guy for his team. Higuain is the main guy for his team. Di Maria is kind of not a peripheral figure, but he's one of the main guys for his team. But when everything you do is every time you get the ball, it's like, oh man, if I can't take this guy on, I got to look for Messi. It kind of takes you out of your game, in my opinion. And I think it might take. I think it's been good for them to all be able to win in the group stages, because I feel like in the next stage, it'll be a little bit more of, hey, I think we're settled in now. Messi's gonna do his thing, but I think these guys can play on their own.
They won all their games.
Yeah, yeah. And that's without, I think, playing at the top of their game. Messi's been at the top of his game, but the rest of the team is not. But I think they're still far and away, not far and away, but I think.
Are they the first club that's won every game now?
No, I think.
Because Brazil didn't.
The Dutch won all 3 of their matches.
Dutch won all 3.
Yeah, the Dutch, I believe.
Oh, I don't remember.
Yeah, the Dutch won all 3.
Colombia also won.
Colombia
won all 3 as well.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah. The Dutch, Colombia.
James Rodriguez have been incredible.
Dude, how about that sick, nasty filth?
He belongs to Monaco. Let's not dream about him.
No, I'm not dreaming about him. I'm just talking about that fucking goal, man. Dude, that was
everything
sick,
in
nasty.
Alex's head. Every time you talk about a player, he just gets his hopes up for Arsenal. He can't look at them objectively.
I know. Oh my God, he already plays for Monaco. Like, I can't even be excited about him. But look,
although I do have a little bitterness, because Alessio Secco, the old Juve director of sport, had the opportunity to sign James Rodriguez and turned it down because he's an absolute idiot.
Before Porto or before Monaco?
Before Porto.
Oh my God! For fuck's sake!
Yeah, he's a fucking idiot.
I think that probably goes down as my favorite goal of the World Cup so far, just because of how dirty he did the defender.
It was
and
just
the
nice.
goalkeeper.
I mean, Robin's goal was quite exceptional as well.
Yeah, but I fucking hate Robin. And look, it was an exceptional goal. That was an exceptional goal. But I'm just saying, my personal favorite of the tournament. I still don't think it was, the most difficult, in terms of technique or anything. But it was my favorite so far, and it's something that put a look. And then goals like that put smiles on people's faces. It makes the Sports Center high. Makes the top 10. It brings fans in, because when you see people, I mean, to do a defender dirty like that, turn them inside out, and then chip a goalkeeper, it's just like, wow, you just got absolutely owned. It's just like when you see someone getting crossed over, it's filthy.
Everyone in the crowd. Oh.
Yeah, absolutely. That defender goes left and sits up fast. And you're like,
I think Hoa Queen enjoyed that goal too much. People.
Who the fuck is Hoa Queen?
That might be the worst pronunciation of Joaquin I've ever heard in my life.
No, you haven't heard Joaquin and Qua Queen and Joaquilla.
We're not going to talk about the Asian nurses I used to work with. They couldn't say my name, man. It's not here. You don't have that excuse, man.
Joaquin.
You don't have that excuse. Yeah, I mean, but Colombia's been very impressive.
Jackson Martinez
don't really
scoring again. That's always good for Colombia.
Doesn't even start.
But his goals were nice though too, man. I love that one that was on the right where he just cut it inside and put on his left. And for a striker of his size, I mean, he's a powerhouse of a striker. He's
a late bloomer.
He is a late bloomer, but I mean, with a lot of central strikers, we do see that. But he has so much technique and ability. But we know this. I mean, if we've seen, as considering he's a player who's been linked with Arsenal and others from times before, we've all seen the YouTube highlights of him. The goals that he scored, where he's the acrobatic volleys, the chest and the back heel flicks, and all that kind of stuff. He's got all the technique, and now he finally has a little bit of confidence. So I think that's a huge bonus for Colombia going to this next round, that he's got the monkey off his back of not being able to score goals in the World Cup.
I think huge bonus for Porto.
I think it was his first goal for Colombia since 2009. I want to say.
Yeah, a long time. He had a brace, right? He had 2.
Yeah, he did have 2. It'd be interesting to see if Teofilo Gutierrez or Martinez starts in the next game. Teo of the paintball or whatever. I think he took a paintball gun to his teammates a few years ago, which is awesome.
Did he?
Yeah, he's got some. If you get a chance, Google Teofilo Gutierrez and some of the stories. He is a crazy.
I'll have to do some research on this guy. Man, these crazy Colombians. Crazy Colombians. Well, we got France coming up at the top of the hour.
My babies.
Your babies?
My Arsenal babies.
Well, yeah, they don't even play. Just Giroud. They looked fantastic in the last match.
Incredible.
A lot of people didn't have high expectations for this team just because they've been pretty good at disappointing. But it really does
seem... They've gelled really well.
No, they've gelled. Like we said, it helps. The lack of Nasri helps in terms of team chemistry.
Maybe even lack of Ribery. Maybe even lack of Ribery helps.
But it really does. I mean, that's a testament to what having a solid team unity and spirit in the camp can make. Because we've seen, so many other teams. I mean, also winning solves everything. Because we've seen the disrupt and the unease amongst some of the teams that have been losing. But that's something that France had not been able to boast a cohesive dressing room for a very long time.
And the only big egos are Benzema and Evra, and they've been reprimanded enough times in their lives to know to shut the fuck up right now.
Yeah, and the thing is, and it's easy for them to be happy right now because they've been killing it. They're through, they've qualified, and they've got a lot of good things ahead of them. So they've got this match against Ecuador. And
it's not going to be a stroll, but I'll still see them winning.
It's not going to be a stroll. I see them winning. They're level on points with Switzerland, so Switzerland need to better the result because they have an inferior goal difference. They need to better the result, so they'll certainly be rooting for France today. Their group has been, I wouldn't say the most exciting because France kind of strolled it, but do you think France have a real shot of making a deep run, Aaron?
At this point, yeah. I think they should be definitely considered among the contenders to win this one. Before the tournament, I said it. France and Italy are two of those teams where they can either go out of the group stage, just completely implode, or they could win the World Cup. It all depends on results, little kicks here and there, and I think we've seen it. Italy goes out of the group stage, and France is in it with a shout. So I think they definitely have the quality across the board. We still have yet to see some of their players explode. I think, I definitely think they have the ability to go ahead and win this World Cup. They should absolutely be considered.
Yeah, I mean, how far do you see France going in this World Cup? When do you see them going out?
To be honest, I have it on my agenda to look at how the
I have them
shake
I
up.
have them losing to Germany in the quarterfinals because that's where we're about to get to Germany and United States and all that, but if Germany finished top of the group, they would meet France. If both teams were to win their round of 16 match, would meet in the quarterfinals, and that's where I have them going out of my bracket.
I believe that's because I had forgotten exactly how the knockout rounds shake out. So I think that would be a very, very close match, but in my opinion, they'd probably just lose out to Germany. I think Germany has a better team and better team spirit overall. I mean, honestly though, I wouldn't put it past this German team to implode in the knockout rounds. This German team is it's really interesting. I think they had a lot of big losses in terms of the biggest one for me being Marco Reus. That is huge. There's not a team in the world that wouldn't have Marco Reus in their squad. But I think, I think if it comes down to Germany and France, Germany just about edges it. But yeah, I still think, I mean, anything can happen. We've seen it this World Cup. I wouldn't be surprised if France lost in the next knockout round or won it. So this has been probably my favorite ever World Cup next to maybe 1998.
Yeah, and we've seen every team has now scored in the tournament, so that's the first time since '98. Iran got their goal. I don't even know how many goals we're up to now, but another,
over 100 something.
What the Iran game had 3 goals, and this game had 5. So
Iran game had 4 goals.
Had 4 goals. Mm-hmm. Was it 3-1?
Bosnia scored
last
time.
Oh, okay, so 9 goals and just in these morning matches. I mean, it's been a goal fest. It's been a television network's wet dream.
Yeah.
ESPN have to love that there's been how many draws? 2, 3 draws? Only 2 of them come from the same group.
Only one has not been. They're all entertaining in a way.
Yeah, there's been 1-0. There's been 1-0.
Yeah.
Right. 1-0. That's it. And that was a horrid match. But no coincidence, Greece was in that match. Weird.
Don't be mean to Greece, man.
I'm not mean to Greece. I'm just saying their football is shit.
Yeah, but it's an achievement to have football being so shit and still get through in the World Cup.
Whatever.
I have nightmares about them winning the Euros. Like, I seriously fall asleep dreaming of just a Greek
the only
phalanx
good thing
marching off a
that
cliff
came from that
with a
was
trophy.
the only thing I enjoyed out of that was seeing Cristiano sad afterwards, missing out. But
He was like 19. You were so mean. You didn't even know him then. You didn't even know who he was. Cristiano.
He didn't know him, but he hated him.
Let's move on to the most important matches that we can talk about for tomorrow. We have a huge match, 9 a.m. for those of us here on the West Coast. We will be at the Hall of Phenomenal again, where we were at for the fantastic viewing party here in Los Angeles. So if you're in LA, come downtown. It's a warehouse district. Nike's Hall of Phenomenal.
Yes, to watch the amazing.
Yeah, free food, free drinks, all set up. It is quite the setup. So we will be there. We will be there bright and early tomorrow to watch the U.S. men's national team take on Germany in a, well, you say winner take all. I mean, winner take the group.
Drawers take all.
Drawers take all. That would work. That works for everyone.
Evens
but
take all.
I don't know, man. I am really fucking nervous about this match.
I'm excited.
Well,
you know why?
Well, no, I'm excited. I'm excited and nervous. It's both sentiments. You know, I mean, obviously the disappointment of conceding that goal in the fashion we did at the last second of the match was a real punch to the gut because we could have already been through. But this team has shown a resilient, so much resiliency. I mean, you can imagine that after such a terrible start. I mean, the worst fucking possible thing you could do would be to gift someone like Nani a goal in the first 5 minutes on a missed clearance.
And you know what they're going to do? They're going to gift the goal to Ozil.
I don't know if Ozil will bury it, to be honest.
No, I think he will. I didn't think Nani would bury it.
He'll try and pass it to someone else and get it taken.
I didn't think Nani would bury it.
So give us your thoughts on this U.S. team. You've talked a little bit about it, Aaron, about how you feel that they've actually shown us a little more in terms of being a team. How do you rate their chances against Germany tomorrow?
I think it'll be a narrow loss, in my opinion, just to be realistic. I was hoping for an Italian biscotto where both teams take half of the cookie and go for the jaw. But I think it'll be a narrow loss, but still enough for us to go through. I need Cristiano Ronaldo to do his job and score a couple so that Ghana – a Ghana draw is what I'm predicting in the other one. But for the U.S. match, I think it's really interesting because there are so many Germans in the U.S. team. But that's that's the most incredible motivation. I think we will this may be the most interesting game of the tournament so far because the U.S. has so many German Americans. We have a German coach. Because our German Americans have done so well so far. Like I was never a Jermaine Jones fan, but he's probably impressed me the most out of all the American players thus far. Jermaine Jones.
That goal's impressed me. I mean, that's
and just not even that goal, just even like his work rate, the ground he's covered, maintaining possession. Just I think he's been brilliant. Fabian Johnson's been really, really good. But I think the biggest key for this team is Michael Bradley showing up. He was a little bit better in the last match, but that's not saying much because he was awful in the first match. But
he was a little bit better, but he also still gave away the ball. You know what I mean? He was still kind of culpable in the last moment. So
yeah. So we'll see. Also, I'm assuming Clincy's gonna go again with the kind of false nine Dempsey that we saw against Portugal, which I thought worked out fairly well. I was a little bit skeptical when I first saw the lineups, but I'm just gonna be drunk by 10 a.m. and hope for the best.
So are we.
I watched it at the American Outlaws bar, Laughing Man Tavern in D.C. It was crazy in there. And I was probably the most depressed person in the room when the final whistle blew. I was soaked in beer.
Will you be there again tomorrow? Should others get down there?
I will be in DuPont Circle. There's a big outdoor party going on for the game. So if anyone's in DC, I'll be there. I'll be drunk. Please don't push me because I have terrible balance when I'm drunk, and I might try and fight you. But we'll all jump around.
Well, hopefully we'll see something good from them. I think, there's no doubt that we're going to get a committed performance. I like you, Aaron. If you made me wager on it, I'd wager on a narrow defeat, like a 2-1 defeat. Hopefully we can get something from Portugal. Portugal have a lot to prove, and it's certainly a narrow. Well, but a narrow Portugal victory does us a lot better than anything from Ghana. So
if Portugal have already given up.
Well, Portugal haven't given up. They haven't given up. And the thing is, as much as the draw serves us, the draw does not serve either one of them at all. So if that match is 1-1 heading into the last 10 minutes, they're both going gung ho. Someone is going to score a goal. It's going to get too open. I just pray in that sense it would be Cristiano if it's anyone. Even as much as I dislike that man, he has the talent.
He might be your savior.
He could be the savior.
All that slating and he's your savior.
Maybe. Well, he's got to do it first. Maybe I'll forgive him for
some. If you do it, will you say I love Ronaldo live on air?
Fuck no.
Okay, well he won't do it then.
Okay, well then don't do it.
I'd also like to take this opportunity to point out to the general public that Cristiano's his hairline.
Yeah, it's for the kid.
It's not for the kid.
Is it not?
It is not. It was a post made up by some teenager in Germany.
Oh my god!
Tweeted it, and then it's another one of those things where everyone. Okay, so number one, he did actually pay the $83,000 for the kid's surgery.
Yeah, we heard about that a while back.
But the part was not for this kid. So can we please stop spreading the fact? We all know Ronaldo is a good person off the field, but this is not one of the good things.
But also, can we stop caring about haircuts so much?
I don't give a shit about his haircut. I just want everyone to stop riding his nuts for this one thing.
As they should.
He's an incredible person off the field. He's a little piece of shit on it, but as a humanitarian, he's a great person, and I do respect him a lot for that. But let's not give him everything.
Yeah, trust me, it's not gonna come from here.
Ronaldo's gonna cure cancer, and you're all wrong. I tell you, you're all wrong.
I hope he does, because cancer's a fucking
horrible thing.
So Alex, give us your prediction. What do you think the United States are gonna do tomorrow?
I think they're gonna lose. So that's it.
Score?
Yeah, I think.
I hope you never get another one.
No, what's the score?
Oh, the score's going to be a 2-2.
How do they lose and get 2-2?
They lose in my head, in my dreams. You're going to draw. You're going to get through.
I'm. You were just an unhappy man, aren't you?
I'm cautiously optimistic. I think the United States will go through by hook or by crook. It may be as little as goal difference, and maybe it's going to come down to a late goal in one of these matches where.
Look, it's America's tournament. I don't see you guys going out tomorrow.
I pray we don't, because that'd be such a disappointment after so much good work put in. They've done so well to get there, and we were on the precipice. And
yeah, but after last, especially against Portugal, I just don't see it. I just don't. The team has so much confidence. They're playing so much. They're playing so hard for each other.
But it's fucking Germany.
I know it's Germany, but Germany hasn't been that amazing.
I mean, okay, that amazing. They're still one of the best teams in the world.
Yes.
So. I'm not going to get carried away, but I think by one way or another, the United States might nick a draw. And here's the thing: the handshake draw that you were talking about, I don't think that really comes into effect until once we get to 70 minutes. If it's level, if it's 1-1 or 0-0, and all of a sudden we're at that point,
they'll close each other out. And
then it's kind of like, okay, settle down. But they're going to go for it. Germany's going to go for the win. As the United States need to go out and search for a goal as well. So. All the best to the Americans. I really hope that we
all the best to the Germans.
No. They don't need the luck.
Joaquin, can you do me a huge favor and just punch Beck in the face?
It might come to that, but we'll see. He's a good guy. He's all right. He's all right.
Ow!
Like Homer does to.
I've never been assaulted on a podcast before.
Well, there's always first time for everything. But anyways, I think we're gonna leave it there. Thank you so much, Aaron, for joining us.
Absolutely,
it's been a blast. We will do this again soon, and for all of you guys out there, going to be enjoying the United States match tomorrow. Do whatever you got to do. Call in sick. Find your way. Stream it. Do whatever you got to do. Go out and have a great time. Enjoy U.S. soccer. It's an American football fan. So go from there.
All right.
All right. We'll leave it there.
Okay.
All right, man.
See you. Good.
See ya.